All right, in today's video, we are going to talk about convertible term insurance. We'll start with what it is. So a convertible term life insurance policy is a term life insurance policy that you purchase. For example, you get a $1 million 20-year term policy, which means as long as you pay that premium for 20 years, if you were to die, a $1 million death benefit is paid out to your beneficiaries. And because it's a term life insurance policy, the premium is typically very inexpensive. Now, a convertible term life insurance policy means that you can convert that term life insurance policy to whole life insurance at a later date. And what it means to convert it is that you do not have to go through medical underwriting, a new full application. It's a very easy and convenient process. How it works is like this. If you are 40 years old, for example, you get a convertible term policy. To qualify for that term policy, you have to fill out an application and you may have to go through a medical exam. Now, after you are underwritten by the insurance company, they'll say to you, congratulations, you're approved for this $1 million 20-year term policy, and the health rating you received is Preferred Plus or Elite, the top health class rating. So you get that term policy, you're excited, but your real goal is to convert it to whole life insurance at a later date. So with that policy, because you got Preferred Plus, the top health rating, it's a 20-year term. If you say at any point in time during that 20-year term, I'd like to change from term to whole life insurance, so I've got life insurance forever, but I can also now build cash value, you don't have to go through a new medical exam. The health rating you got on that term policy at 40 years old will be on the new whole life insurance policy, even if you convert it at 55, and let's say now you've got health issues and you would not qualify for life insurance. The benefit to a convertible term life insurance policy is that it locks in your health rating based on the time from when you applied for the policy. So that's the benefit there, that you can lock in the health rating. However, there are some limits to be aware of, and where these come into play is if you are interested in a policy, particularly a whole life insurance policy, for the cash value. Meaning you say, I don't really care about the death benefit. The reason why I'm going to put money into this whole life insurance policy is because of the cash value. It's a safe area to position funds. It's liquid. I can access it via a loan while my money keeps on compounding. And it's also tax-free if I do everything right. That is often why people are interested in the cash value of a whole life insurance policy. So you're interested in that whole life insurance, but you can't get it right now. So you say, let me get a convertible term life insurance policy now so I can knock out all of the underwriting, and then I'll convert it to whole life insurance later. Sound like a good idea? It does. However, there's definitely some things I want to be aware of. Attention to detail, I always like to say. So when converting a term life insurance policy, so if you get a term policy and you want to then convert it to whole life insurance, there's no underwriting. You went through the underwriting when you got that term life insurance policy. Here's the drawback and what the limits often impose. In many cases, it forces a higher premium than what you would normally carry on a whole life insurance policy. I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're going to look at a side-by-side comparison. But if it forces a higher premium, what that means is I'm going to have less money going toward my paid-up additions rider, which will result in less money in cash value, and I feel like this. Versus a whole life insurance policy where I go through full underwriting, meaning it's not a convertible term policy, I can set that base premium as low as I'd like. A lot of times as low as 10% of my total out of pocket. Which means if my premium is minimized, I can put more of my money into my paid up additions rider, which results in more of my money showing up in cash value. And I feel like this. Want to see an example? So someone had asked us about this, which is how he came up with the idea for this video. He's 41 years old. He already has a whole life insurance policy. The goal is cash value, but he asked for a convertible term policy. He wanted to see a $1 million death benefit, and the idea he has in mind, or the idea that we're going to look at here, is converting it to whole life insurance at age 55. So about 14 years later is when we are going to convert it to a whole life insurance policy. And the goal of this policy is not just to lock in $1 million in life insurance. He wants that, but he also wants to make sure that this is truly maximized, that there's no games that go on, or he doesn't get the term policy and then find out after the fact when he converts it, that's not what I wanted. Meaning he doesn't want to feel like it's a bait and switch game. So let's take a look at the numbers. First, we'll look at the numbers, assuming he starts at 41 years old. And we're going to assume he's going to fund it with $50K per year. And we'll look at $50K per year going in now, and then also at age 55. So if he just starts a whole life insurance policy right now, what does it look like? Well, if I'm going to fund $50,000 per year, I would want my base premium at about $5,000, which allows $45,000 to go toward the PUA rider, total funding $50,000 per year. In this example, he pays for 5 years. 50 times 5 years is a total of $250,000. His break-even point, meaning when his cash value is greater than the total amount of money he's paid, policy year 4, when we look at it. Strong policy. Now, this is a 10/90 split, meaning of his $50,000, 10% is allocated toward the base premium and 90% PUA, maximum cash value from start to finish. How this policy is set up is as follows. We have a whole life insurance death benefit. It's about $370,000 in the first year. Then we have a term insurance rider, specifically a 1-year term rider. And what do you notice? It's going down. But when you add those two figures together, the whole life plus the term will always give you $1 million in total death benefit. So that's the total coverage. As he funds the policy, cash value goes up. That's what he's interested in. So does the whole life death benefit. And you can see the term shrinking. We could chop the term rider off after year 7, but in this example, we just let it naturally expire. So he's interested in something like this when he's researching it at 41 years old. However, can't do this right now. So he asks, can I just get a convertible term policy? Convertible term policy will cost him $940 per year. That is for a 20-year term for $1 million in total coverage. He wants to look at converting it at 55 years old. Okay, let's look at that. So if he converts it at 55 years old, here's what he wants to do. Look familiar? Base premium, 10%. PUA, 90%. Add the two together. That's your annual funding, $50K per year, but not for 5 years. In this example, he'd like to go for 7 years. Okay. Total out of pocket. Not that much different from starting at 41. It's amazing, isn't it? If you design a policy the right way, the cash value is always going to be similar. So he still breaks even year 4. Let's look at the breakdown of the policy, though. Whole life death benefit, 1-year term rider, net death benefit, $1 million. So this is what he wants to do. He wants to get the convertible term policy and then convert it to whole life insurance at 55 years old and get something that looks just like this. Here's the hard part, though. The company doesn't allow this. Remember where we talked about limits that are imposed by the insurance company that force a higher base premium? So with a convertible term policy, I do not always have the freedom. I say I, the consumer, and I, the agent, do not have the freedom to set the base premium wherever we want. With this particular example, and this company, this is Guardian, one of the 4 major mutuals, when we convert it, that's as low as we could set the base premium. So if we are converting a term policy to whole life insurance, instead of a $5K base premium, $17,300. The rest goes into PUAs, same $50K out of pocket for the same 7-year period. When I look at that, same thing as what I had over here. So if this is you, it's the same net out of pocket in this example, but is it really the same? There's your whole life death benefit, there's your term, net death benefit in the far right. Is it really the same? Well, we can see the cash value difference when we look at the two side by side here. I've got an easier way though. How about this? This is the exact same thing we just looked at. Here's the convertible term option. This is showing how much more, or in this case, how much less you have in cash value with the convertible term policy. So you converted it from term to whole life insurance, and based on the limits that the insurance company enforced, you had to go with the higher premium, which resulted in you having this much less in cash value than what you would have had if you could have attained a policy with that minimum premium. Big difference over time, isn't it? What happens? If I look at by the time I'm 80, it's a $100,000 difference in cash value. Same company, same product. If you have a chance to check out our detailed video where we just really walk through the illustrations and go into the weeds with these, you'll see it's the exact same company, product, health rating, everything's the same except for the design. So, in conclusion, is a convertible term insurance policy a good idea? Yes and no. If your goal is to maximize cash value, I would say no. Where I would say yes is getting a convertible term insurance policy allows you to lock in your health rating right now. So right now, if you're as healthy as can be, and you're going to get the top health class at 41, for example, for the individual we just looked at, he can lock in his health rating based on his age of 41, say it's preferred plus. Then if he wants to convert it to whole life at 55 years old, he gets sick and he can't qualify for life insurance anymore, he can convert that term policy to whole life insurance. Now he's got permanent life insurance, and you can still set it up where you can maximize it for cash value based on the limits that you have to play within, the limits or the boundaries you have to play within. It's not optimal, like the example we saw earlier, but at least I have something. So it is nice because I can lock in coverage and have something. However, if I'm expecting the good one, maximum cash value up front, minimum premium commitment, maximum cash value long term, the policy where I could set that premium at $5K was much more attractive. And you can do this with any policy size too. So I hope that this was helpful. Let us know your thoughts, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. You can reach out to us direct if you prefer, and as always, I hope this helps. Thanks so much for watching.